Are flickering passenger car lights driving you crazy every time you run your layout? Well, stick around because I have an anti-flicker circuit and install techniques that I'll share with you on keeping your car's lights lit. Welcome to Bits and Bob's Back Shop. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Like I said in the previous video that is still uploading to YouTube, but these are the passenger cars we're going to be lighting today. Come up with my own custom lighting circuit. This is what they look like when they're all finished. These are flicker free modules, so they'll work on DCC. If this is what you're interested in, stick around. So here's the circuit. It's pretty simple. You have a bridge rectifier. You have two resistors. And then you have one diode peeking in back right there. And the way this works is here's our schematic. So the bridge rectifier here, the alternating current input goes to your wheel pickups, and the reason for this is no matter which direction the passenger car is set on the track, whether it's this way or this way, we'll always have positive and negative on our outputs. Okay, so then you have a diode here, and a diode is electrical one-way street, and the way this is set up in the circuit, it will not allow power from the rectifier or the track, let's say, to go through the diode to charge the capacitors. You have this resistor. And I'm going to go over values here in a second. So this is just a basic circuit diagram. We have a little voltage dropping resistor here, and that would be for the positive 11 volts to your LED strip light. Your negative for the negative to LED strip light. And then you have your two storage capacitors. Okay. The way the circuit works is when the track is powered up, power flows in through the bridge rectifier, the capacitors get charged through this 560 ohm resistor. And this resistor is here for two functions. First, it limits the amount of current and voltage to charge these capacitors. And let's face it, there's 2,000 microfarads of capacitance, which is a decent amount, but you get 5 or 6 passenger cars, that number increases substantially, and you don't want to be tripping your DCC circuit breaker. Then you have a small 68 ohm resistor here to drop the voltage to 11 volts for your strip light. So when the track is powered and you have good electrical pickup, the red is where the voltage flows to. Okay, that completes the circuit. If you get dirty track or you take the car off the track, this is the way the capacitors now supply voltage to your lighting circuit. So the 560 ohm resistor is bypassed, the current flows through the diode, through the dropping resistor to your lighting, and the ground is just to your lighting. Okay, so it's a simple circuit. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total components. They could be hardwired, they could be point-to-point wired, or you could do it like I did and take a little piece of breadboard and just plop the parts in there like that. Once they're all soldered up, they're good to go. The two green leads are used for our power pickups, and then This will be our negative, and then this is be our positive out. So let's get to cracking these car lids open and cleaning them up, getting the interiors out, and installing the light circuit. Okay, this is a Bachmann passenger car. It's a heavyweight. She has 6 axles. Very nice detail. Pretty good on the weight department as well. I think the bottom here is, no, it feels plastic, but there must be a long metal weight in the inside. But you just need to work from one end. There's a seam here between the roof and the car body, and if you can get your fingernail in there or something, you can just kind of pry these guys up. Get the other side, and then just work your way back. Come on now. There we go. We'll give this a good bath, and then we'll move on to the interior. There are 2 screws here and here, and this will remove our interior section. And if you look carefully, the car is already wired up for power pickup or lighting, because it looks like there's 2 electrical tabs sitting right there. So hang on, let's get this apart. And there we can see one axle or one truck assembly picks up one side, and then the other truck assembly picks up the other side. So we could use these contacts for our board. They fit really good. I am concerned though about this metal rod. So let's get this back out, because we do have exposed wires on the back side and we don't need any of this to get shorted out. Alright, back with the tape. That should be good. Now we're going to leave this loose because we still have to hook up our strip lights, which I already have measured, cut, and added on wires to it. So this is what's going to light up the inside of our passenger cars. Made them just long enough. We're going to get these tinned up real quick. Right. Now the polarity on this end does not matter. These are the inputs. Conveniently, there is a hole in this tab. Can I get it into the hole? Probably not. Let's tin those up really fast so it's easier to solder up. There we go. The other side here has already been tinned because that's where the lead follows from the pickup. Okay, that pretty much takes care of the wiring for the power supply to the electrical pickups or the wheel sets. We can go ahead and put the interior back in. Alright, that completes the wiring from the power supply to the wheel sets. Next, we'll turn our attention to the roof. Now, whether it's a set of Bachmann passenger cars, a set of Markland passenger cars, Roco, doesn't make a difference. There's always a way that the roofs go back into the chassis. And since we already have the power supply on this side, we want to make sure that we don't have the wires coming out the wrong side like this. So, it takes a few minutes. Look at your slots where the roof snaps in, and I can see there's a roof opening there. And then there are two roof openings here. There's one there, and then there's one there. So this actually is the correct way that this roof goes on. So that means we want our leads to come out this side so we can hook them to our power supply. I'll measure it up first. Make sure I have a good length. I'll get it in the middle, just like so. And then I'll know that just before this beginning seam here is where I need to start applying the light strip. So let's get this peeled off. Now I get this light strip on a roll. There's 16 feet per roll, and I have probably done 10 passenger cars already, a few buildings, a tunnel, and I still have stuff on a roll. So this strip light really goes a long way, and I think I paid for 2 rolls, or a total of 32 feet, which I haven't even taken off, opened the second roll yet. You can get a lot of passenger cars done, or buildings. So let's get that started right about there. And then I'll gently pull off the backing as I go ahead and install it. Never fails. There's always something going on outside. Today's Monday, it's my garbage day. So that's what y'all are hearing. Okay. Nice and tidy. Make sure it's firmly pressed down. And now we're ready to solder these wires to our power supply. We don't need this much length, probably about half of that. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. We want enough so that we're not struggling to get everything put in there, but we don't want too much to where it's rolling over the passengers in the car. You know what I'm saying? Now LEDs are polarity sensitive. They are diodes. And so when we go ahead and hook these up, we want to make sure we get the polarity right, otherwise the light strip will not light. Give these a quick tin. Kind of walking off the screen there. So this is our negative. You can verify that by the black side of the capacitors is the negative. So let's get this rotated around so it's easier to see. I'll even put a little twist on these. So our negative is going to solder here. Alright, and now our positive is going to be connected at this resistor, our 68 ohmer. And that guy I've got conveniently right on the end here. So let's get that soldered up. Okay. So this can get slid back in. So get all tucked up in there. Go ahead and snap the roof back on. Okay. One passenger car done. We have another one to go, but it'll be the same as this car. So let me get the second one finished and we'll be right back. Okay, both cars are done and lit. Now what we're going to do is get rid of these Bachmann chintzy easy mate couplers. I wish these coupler boxes were sturdier too, because it kind of changes the coupler height, but it's all part of the design. So yeah, these are the old XF2. You can see that to keep the distances, there's a little bar in between. But let's get these replaced. We're going to replace them with Kadee pack, bulk pack number 5s. There we go. We're going to be replacing the couplers with the springs and then a nice metal Kadee coupler. And we're also going to do the Baldwin steamer, the 440, that the previous episode just showed us doing a full service on. So the conversion's pretty simple. If you've got a regular screwdriver, or Phillips screwdriver rather, you just have to remove this cover. Pardon my hands. Let me see if I can get it more in the frame. Pull out the old coupler. We'll take a spring, set it into place. Like that. We'll take a number 5, put it over the bolster there, and then holding the coupler and putting the cover into place could be a little fiddly. Let's make sure, yep, we're good. That's looking good. Yeah, that's looking much better. Same thing for this end. Same thing. Take a spring, plop it in. And this is something you can do on a work evening or a Sunday where you're just kind of relaxing around the house. This is the only fiddly part, trying to get the cover back on without knocking the coupler out of place. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second passenger car, and I'll come back when we're up with the steam engine. Be right back. Alright, passenger cars are all completed. Now we're on to our 440. We're going to replace the front and rear couplers, and I'll show you how to do that really quick. We'll remove the front screw here for the pilot coupler. I might end up pulling the front truck again just to gain a little bit more space. Now let's get alrighty. Alright, so we'll go ahead and slip in our spring. We're on a good angle here. There we go. And then we'll take our coupler and then slide that over. And then we'll take our coupler cover and bring that in from the back side. There we go. If I keep hitting the microphone, I apologize. Still trying to get used to my new surroundings. There we go. Okay. Now, before we break the whistle off, let's go ahead and get the pilot truck remounted. Alright, now onto the tender. Let's just remove the rear wheel set, making note of which side the insulators are on so we don't create a short when we go put it all back together again. So our insulator is on this side. this side is directly connected. So this is our insulation side. You could tell because the way it is. And now we can get to this screw here for the coupler box. Put in the spring. See how that doesn't line up? So what I'm going to end up doing is taking a pair of scissors and carefully trimming this front edge here. Carefully trimming this front edge so that I can get it to move forward and over the bolster. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, we trimmed the end of the coupler. We took maybe a 32nd of an inch off. You have to be pretty careful if you're going to do that because that doesn't leave much meat for the spring here on this side as well as this side. But I just used a pair of regular scissors and this will drop right in now. And then we'll get rid of that coupler. We'll go ahead and put this guy in. You know what? Let's trim this up as well. Just use our standard scissors. We'll just take a little bit out. There we go. That looks pretty nifty. Okay, we're looking good. Now, we got to put our pickup back into place. It was being held in by the tension between the axles. All right. Now we'll pop in our rear axle, making sure again that we have the insulated section on the correct side, because otherwise that would cause a direct short when we put it on the track. There we go. Make sure we're all good. Let's get the drawbar hooked up. Now we're ready to see the entire consist running on the layout. Catch you in a few.